Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. This is 115 speaking, and let me welcome you to... You know what, that's a really good question. Where the hell are we? We passed through the Jade Portal at the end of the Temple of Xi'an, and now we find ourselves in the mythical floating islands. We are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets pertaining to this level, which are actually the final 3 secrets of the entire game, unlocking the Codex of China achievement. Just a reminder, you need all the secrets in China, including the Great Wall of China, the first level, and Tibetan levels to get the Codex of China achievement. I have no idea why they didn't split Tibet and China apart. I imagine both, especially people from Tibet, would be very pissed off about that. Chinese people maybe not so much. We are gonna get our hands on all 39 goodies, and we are gonna kill 26 enemies, including the toughest enemy type in the entire game, for which I have been holding all those grenades. And overall, we are gonna unlock 3 achievements. That's the Codex of China, 1 achievement specific to how we take down a certain type of enemy, and 1 to not trigger 2 green jade boulders, which is gonna unlock at the very end of the level, okay? So that's essentially it, but what I'd like to talk about is that at the end of the Temple of Xi'an level, Marco Bartoli and his henchmen performed some sort of ceremony. Maybe that's why Lara fell down those traps, because she performed no ceremony whatsoever. She just wanted to snatch the gold trinket. Marco and his henchmen performed the ceremony, and Marco stabbed himself in the heart and was carried through Jade Portal, which was actually not in that room in the very beginning, not even at the very end. It only appeared in the cutscene, okay? Suddenly, all of a sudden. So the ritual was performed correctly and opened up a path to the floating isles, which, to be honest, this was never Lara's destination. All she wanted was the dagger and go home, right? So now, I assume this created some sort of pocket dimension for the bearer of the Dagger of Xi'an and his followers to pass through safely. What's worse, thinking that Marco is the next emperor of China, essentially, after the first, he will be protected by an army, not of terracotta statues, but statues made out of jade. These will come to life, and since Lara is now the intruder, they will protect their new emperor no matter what. And let me take a picture in the original graphics and the remastered graphics. So what's essentially happening, there are going to be 2 new types of enemies. Well, there's a third later on, but those are not statues. There's going to be spearmen and swordsmen. Right as you begin the level, this jade swordsman comes to life. And what's really cool that in the original graphics, you can see the individual body parts coming into color, turning from jade into an actual warrior made out of, I presume, flesh, right? This is really cool, but in the remasters, the transformation is absolute, meaning that they are just made out of jade up until they're completely in color, whereas in the original it was a gradual transformation. I'm gonna try and show you that up close on camera, okay? When we encounter a good positioned enemy for that. So the swordsmen are no biggie, but they can fly through the floating islands and reach us. The swordsmen cannot, but they are the most dangerous enemy in the level. By the way, I always used to think that the 3 spearmen over here are supporting this building and why it's suspended in the air via their spears, but no, actually, they'll even start moving later on and the building will still remain in the air. What's inside the building is a mystical plague we need to get our hands on, 1 of 2. Here is the second one, although the first one in the order in which we'll pick them up. Both of them will combine to create the Temple of Xi'an symbol. And we'll need both of these to essentially open up a door on this particular floating isle. There's a massive sealed dragon door, openable only via these mystic plagues, guarded by 2 more jade swordsmen. And behind it, just look at this. Behind it, an entrance into a burning temple. It doesn't get cooler than this. Honestly, this level really does get 10 points for the atmosphere. As far as gameplay is concerned, let me put it like this. It's the level I dislike the most out of the entire game. It sucks to play so very much. The amount of times you will fall when playing it, especially for the first time, is inconceivable. Now, what I'm gonna try and show you is how to trigger and wake up 3 jade swordsmen, so that we can take care of them, all 3 of them, on equal terms. Yep, that's correct. So, there is an achievement which asks us to take these guys down whilst they're on the ground, because when they're in the air, they're essentially harmless, okay? They can't really do anything to Lara. Oh my god, that guy almost fell down. So we need to wait for them to land, and what I especially like to do is just wait for them to start walking, like the guy in the distance on the Jade Bridge. Let's take care of him. And they again turn to Jade and explode, okay? So if you want to be absolutely sure to not invalidate the achievement, do not even fire a single bullet whilst they're in the air, and when they're on the ground, wait for the walking animation to begin, just so we're sure, okay? Don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to take care of them. And actually, I don't think we took a picture of these guys in the remastered graphics when they're in color, so maybe we could do it like this, we'll see. And we could capture even the OG. By the way, the skybox of the original was a bit more bland and boring. There was no moonlight, okay? So I really appreciate what they did in the remasters. And down you go, you monster. Oh, okay, that was a bit of a close call. So that's 3 of them taken care of, okay? Now, there are a couple of ways you can tackle this level in particular order. What I find to be the most efficient way is, now that we took care of these guys on equal terms, let's make a safety drop here. You will take some minor falling damage. As you can see, it really is no biggie. And get our hands on the first Mystic Plague, okay? We have 1 more to go before we can open the Dragon Seal door. But also, the reason I want to do this is to get our hands on all the kills, and I want to show you where the 4th swordsman is, okay? And I do believe you need to kill all 8 of them in this level to unlock the On Equal Terms achievement. Yeah, I didn't want to talk over the sound effect, but as you can see in the original graphics, when these guys awaken, their individual body parts start turning into color. In the remasters, it's not as cool, it's all or nothing, right? But here it's a gradual transformation, so you know what? Let's keep the original graphics, and a 3rd grenade should do it. Again, fire only when they're on the ground, okay? It's the only way to be sure that we'll unlock the achievement. By the way, it doesn't unlock at the level end, it unlocks once we finish off the final 8th Jade Swordsman of the level, okay? So I think that's pretty neat. Alrighty, so 4 swordsmen taken care of. Now we gotta worry about spearsmen, what I call the toughest enemies of Tomb Raider 2, for a very good reason. Let's get inside the cage. By the way, it's purely optional, you don't need to engage with the mechanism of the cage at all. It's another reason why I find this level so confusing, there's so many optional pathways. But, actually, sorry, yeah, you have to activate this lever to open up the trapdoor into the floating temple, but you don't have to engage with this grate that opened up, because there are essentially 3 different ways you can reach that island. But, let's slide down, but not fall down, okay? And the moment you step on the island, yep, that spearman has awakened. Let's also step on this small jade island, and another one will awaken, and we can take care of them from safety. However, I don't think I took a picture of these guys yet in color, okay? And that's exactly what I want to do. Maybe we could... I kind of wanted to capture all 3, you know, the turned ones and not turned ones, but... I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reduce the FOV so we are closer and take a badass picture like this. I really love what they did in the remasters, especially with the dragon-like shoulder pads. This is also what they showcased in last year's September reveal trailer of the Tomb Raider remasters, and it was pretty epic back then. It really didn't disappoint. Again, their skin is very muted, it's almost like they're walking corpses. I'm not sure, again, if these were once people who were turned into jade statues, or if these are just constructs, jade statues that come to life magically. If they were people, I find that way creepier, actually. Yeah, plenty of health. The ammo cost is quite monumental. If you do not have the ammo to spare from safe positions like these, you can of course take these guys down with pistols, but it's gonna take a lot of time, okay? Now, we still have the 3rd one to worry about. Here's the best strategy I know of to take care of him. The 3rd spearman over here is gonna awaken the moment you touch any of the tiles in this row with the goodies and the 2nd Mystic Plague with the remainder of the Temple of Xi'an symbol, right? So, what I find to be the best way, rather than wake him up here and try to take potshots at him from the top, it just doesn't work, trust me. It's maybe you can do it if you're willing to dedicate 30 minutes to it. But what I'm gonna try and do is trigger him, then roll immediately, fall back down, and whilst he's still waking up, climb up this step, and then make a jump to this tile. This is not a slippery tile, it's a safe tile where we can shoot him from, and also get our hands on this level's first secret, a jade dragon on the roof of this house, okay? Now, may fortune favor the foolish, because this is quite dangerous. Ah, get away from me. Yes! Awesome! Okay. There's another way I also want to show you, in case you're not feeling particularly confident about this one. But I really want to beat this level without using a medpack, and we are on a good track. But okay, first of all, the secret. Ah, we gotta have all of them. We're so close to getting all of them. Woohoo! There, by the way, isn't any reward for finding all secrets in Tomb Raider 2. There will be, however, in the Golden Mask expansion. Nevertheless, another way you can go about this is once you wake him up, you can essentially pick up the goodies here, doesn't matter, and when you fall down here, and check with photo mode in advance how far away is he from this landing point, because Lara needs to do drop recovery, immediately run here, drop down and grab this ledge and climb up, because using this you'll be able to get on another floating island and take pot shots at this guy from safety. I think this tile and M16 are your best bet, okay? So that's another way in case you're not feeling confident about what I just did. Just keep that in mind. Again, everything I'm doing right now is to show you how to beat this level without using a medpack. We'll see how successful we'll be. I was pretty damn successful during my trial run on GOG, but when I was playing this on PS5, I actually had to use a large medpack. I messed up too many times, but I'm not gonna let that happen now, okay? Anyway, we have both Mystic Plagues. Actually, let's check out what these look like in the originals. So, half of the Temple of Xi'an symbol and a lovely ornamental background. It was kind of the same deal in the original, but the background wasn't ornamental, it was just a rough hewn stone, right? But it's the same gist. Since Lara will be entering these from the symbol side inside into the lock, the back side is what's gonna be visible, and it looks way better in the remasters when there'll be these ornamental back sides protruding from the key slots. You'll see what I mean, it will make sense, okay? Okay, now to make our escape, but also continue to the lock mechanism, we can also use the path over here, but this is again purely optional, because you can also use the sort of floating jade pieces over here to make it there, and again go up and onto the cage, right? So it's not necessary, but again I want to show you every piece of the level I can, and kind of try and presume what its intended functionality was, because sometimes even I'm not sure. This level is kind of an asshole to play. I do not enjoy it. Oh boy. Okay, now if you're thinking of making a perfect alignment via dropping and grabbing this ledge, be very careful. I drop down like this, there's not enough space for Lara's legs and she'll start sliding down, and that's the end of that. Okay, so we'll just need to do it the old-fashioned way, and you need to be absolutely perfectly aligned. Oh my god, this makes me nervous. You can actually also climb up there, then slide down, then jump from there, or maybe even better, you can just immediately go here. You don't need to engage with that jade piece whatsoever. And now for the final one. You know, maybe that's doable without the grabbing, but I just wasn't willing to risk it. We are approaching the point where I'm finally gonna save the game. So that's why I'm so incredibly careful. Okie dokie. And one more. Whoa, some floaty pieces there that we probably shouldn't see, as per the original. Huh, interesting. But thanks to the bigger drawing distance, we can see the fiery temple, which is pretty damn neat. And here we are. This is where I stepped on at the beginning of the level to awaken the two jade swordsmen, so that we could take care of them from the top of the cage and we don't have to engage them now, okay? So I just thought that's a nifty little trick. And why don't we make a handstand over here, Lara? Just to show off. More Uzi ammo. We can pretty much forget the automatic pistols exist at this point. There we go. Oh, and this brings me back to a point I complained about back in St. Francis Foley. In the original Tomb Raiders, maybe it's gonna be visible better in the OG graphic. Oh, this PlayStation pixelated graphics. Okay, we can make out the symbol over here, okay? So this is the dragon symbol, not the circle. And if you press the action key, Lara will automatically have the dragon symbol highlighted, okay? Same thing in the originals, it doesn't really matter. The point I really complained about back in St. Francis Foley is how whenever you approached a certain keyhole, automatically the correct key item would be suggested from the menu. This was not the case in original Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3, although it was introduced in Tomb Raider 4 and 5, and I complained about it back then as well. It removes a puzzle element completely. Now you no longer need to be, carefully observing your surroundings, because the inventory system will essentially just automatically highlight the correct symbol, which I think is pretty lame. And oh my god, they messed this one up. What? This one is just a slot for the circle piece. This one has the sides of the dragon piece stretched to the side. Okay. In case anyone from Asper is watching, or Saber, yeah, I would like to report this bug, yeah, for fixing in a future patch, right? But that's essentially it. Now the game will also, in Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3, auto-suggest the correct key item and remove the puzzle element completely, which I'm not happy about. If you try to put the incorrect one, no. Lara will say her good old-fashioned no, okay? And this is what I meant by the ornamental side now protruding from the back, which is pretty cool. In the original it was just a mess. Here you can see it. And the two sides of the stretch symbol now disappeared. This is a correct model. Actually, each time you put an object like this into its slot, the entire keyhole slot object is replaced by a new object ID. It's something I noticed when I played the original Tomb Raider 4, right? Just an interesting bit of trivia. Anywho, we pass the Dragon Seal Gate. There is some automatics ammo over here, but like I said, we no longer need it. And in case you're thinking about entering the temple, well, I have bad news for you. There's another Dragon Gate, and this one we're never gonna open. It's a solid object, but a Jade Swordsman appears. Let's be real careful. And let's wait for him to land, okay? Before we take any potshots, to take care of them on equal terms. He's a bit confused. Maybe he needs a nudge in the right direction. Come on, you can do this. And now start moving. Thank you. There we go. Awesome. We do get a bit of a Tibetan chant for some reason. I guess a reminder that this is what the monks wanted to prevent. Anywho, what I'm way more interested in than our past crimes is the second secret of this level. Let's light up a flare. Very easy to miss hidey hole over here. And we'll slide down, thankfully, into a solid square, okay? If we were to slide down a little bit more, this would spell the doom for us. As you can see, another bottomless pit down there, okay? So, we got our hands on the second secret. Awesome. We took care of another Jade Swordsman. But now, the achievement I'd like you to keep in mind is the No Crazy Golf achievement, which essentially asks us to play through the level without triggering these two Jade boulders over here. One over here, and another on the ledge over there. Both of these boulders will be triggered upon you touching the tile over here. So of course we want to avoid that. There is a way to do this via essentially making a running jump onto the roof over here. But what I'd like to show you is an even more efficient way to do the whole thing, because the idea is that you're supposed to use the zipline over here and then use it to go all the way across, and when you realize that the gate at the very end is closed, whoopsie-doo, you're supposed to let go on the bridge over here. But how about we just descend directly onto the bridge? It's a really nifty shortcut, it will save you some time, and also I think it's just a way more efficient way to play through the level. But this also marks the point of this level's most dangerous combat encounter, so I'm absolutely saving the game here. I think we deserved it. Okay. And now, let's make a meter roll and tilt Lara. That's the keys to success. She will bug out in the railing, but don't worry. So far, she's never fell down for me. And now, you know what? I think M16 is a better choice. This curtain, by the way, will raise, revealing 3 Jade Spearmen. Oh, there's an invisible barrier, we can't even get here. Interesting, interesting. By the way, may I just point out how beautiful these textures are? I'm trying to think about what this could be showing. I'm pretty sure this is authentic Chinese tapestry. And it shows a baby or a child in a cart being wheeled by someone. I don't know if this is relevant, but maybe that's the wielder of the dagger of Xi'an and his loyal followers carrying him forward. I don't know if Marco Bartoli is now a giant baby being carried by his Fiamma Nera cultists, but that's what I'm thinking about every time, okay? In the original it was kind of a mess, although this is the PlayStation pixelation. On PC it was much more legible, but still. This is a night and day difference. I absolutely love it. And let's take care of the first one with our trusty M16. We should just about make it before he reaches us. Oh, okay, so the jump back was not necessary, but I was nervous. I think that's understandable. Now, in the original, you could pick up your grenade launcher, fire off 4 grenades, and take care of these guys, even get registered a kill. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case in the remaster, so what we're gonna have to do is press the lever, and the moment we do that, both of them will awaken. I once managed to pull this off without taking any damage. Let's see if I can repeat my past success. God damn it. Okay, this is acceptable. Somehow he dealt very little damage to us. Usually they take 1/4 of your health with a full spear thrust. I think it really depends if they hit you with 1 or 2 spears or something like that, okay? But anyway, I'm very happy about how this turned out. We can continue safely knowing that our no Medpex run of this level is not invalidated in any way. By the way, hold the action key to initiate the zipline and Lara will automatically transfer into the ladder, and the rope over here will not block her from climbing up or anything like that, which is awesome, okay? So let us just climb up, please, Miss Croft. And we're gonna have to make another backflip, but just a normal backflip from a ladder. No need to grab another ladder behind us or anything like that, okay? I think this just about does it. Wonderful. And now, let us shimmy to the left. And we are gonna find ourselves underneath the 2 jade boulders that we ignored before and didn't trigger because of the Crazy Golf achievement. On top of that, another jade swordsman above us will now be waking up. Just his head and a thigh are green now in the original. I love these gradual transitions. Shame we don't get that in the remastered. Okay. Get the M16 ready, Miss Croft. You know what to do. You've done this before. Oh, this is a nice angle. Oh yeah, I love this. I really like this. Very well. Alrighty, we're doing great. Let us just climb up onto the roof, and there we are essentially gonna have to do this level's most awkward jump. I do not like it. So, first of all, let's do this. And now, the intended way to continue and get to the zipline over there is to essentially climb up here. Go back down to where we passed the first Dragon Seal door, and then use these platforms to get back. But again, keeping in mind the Crazy Golf achievement, we do not want to trigger those boulders, so instead we're gonna have to overcome the roof over here. The problem is, if you make a forward jump, it will not be enough. If you make a backflip, I'm not gonna show you that because that will outright kill us. It will work too well, and Lara will overjump even the ledge behind here, either break her neck or fall into the bottomless pit, which is scary, okay? We don't want that either. So we want to reach this ledge without triggering the boulders here, and the way we're gonna do that is to jump diagonally using a running jump. And that's easier said than done. Oh my god, I thankfully made it. Usually it takes me like 5 attempts. Whew. Okay, doing great. See? And this boulder stays where it is. We avoid the trigger point altogether. Okay. You do need to make a grabbing jump over here. And I think you can make it onto the platform where the Jade Swordsman was, but there's no point. There is nothing there. Now we are just gonna use the zipline to pass through the now opened gate. Remember, before it was shut down, now it's open. And there we go. We are approaching the final area of the level, which is pretty damn awesome. But let's unlock the On Equal Terms achievement via triggering 2 Jade Swordsmen by touching this block over here. Both of them are inside this hellish fiery pit of damnation. You know what? This is too of an attractive shot to pass up. Let's do this. And let me do the same in the remastered graphics. So they're gonna go from the corridor of hell, essentially. The best way to get to essentially take care of these guys really is to make it on the other side over here, get your M16 out, and wait for them to land. You know, business as usual, really. Whilst listening to the noise from the blade trap, which again we haven't really seen since the Great Wall of China, which again is a brilliant continuation that we are back in China, you know, despite the fact that it was the first level. Just like the orange tigers or the small spiders, that sort of thing. Lara, shoot at the one on the ground, please. Thank you. Oh, they can pass through the block. Oh, no. Still counts as ground, right? Right? Oh, thank God. On equal terms. Do not hurt the Xi'an swordsmen while they are levitating, but eliminate all of them. Guys, this was a close call, and I absolutely love it. It couldn't be more exciting. By the way, in case you were wondering why is there a shimmyable space over here, honestly, your guess is as good as mine. As far as I'm aware, this is not a safe texture to land on and approach the trapdoor over here. So do not engage with this. I don't know why it exists. Perhaps some idea that was introduced but never fully finished. That happens, you know. Especially if you have to develop an entire video game in a single year, which is absolutely insane to think about. Okay, and let's climb up here. First of all, let's get our hands on some M16 ammunition already, just because we can. You can also keep it for later, because we'll find ourselves here later to make an absolutely epic swan dive through that trapdoor. But for now, let's just get the ammo, you know. I want to show you how to get it earlier rather than later. And by triggering this lever, we are, for whatever reason, gonna cause this movable block... Well, it's not movable, but it is dynamic, let me explain. This block to fall down into the lava here and creating sort of a bridge to access the lever over here. However, I don't think that's necessary. Using a clever tilting and grabbing jump, you can absolutely jump from here and here, but I want to show you what every single mechanism does. And there it falls. I tried to capture it as best as I can, but the camera wasn't really cooperating, but you get the gist, okay? I feel like we've earned a save, but you know what? I want to make it through this area at least. I'll probably regret that, won't I? Now, there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can also just run forward from here, and Lara should just about land on that block, but let me put it like this, that makes me very nervous. I think instead I'll make a standing jump whilst not hitting Lara's head. Awesome. And we now open the trapdoor, so again we need to make it all the way back up, okay? Wonderful. Whilst, of course, being mindful of the blade traps. Small shooting discs. Alrighty then. This whole part of the level essentially can be skipped if you're not queasy about wading through shallow water. You can, I think, maybe even jump over the first blade trap and then just popping medpacks whilst moving like this. However, all we are trying to accomplish is to shut off those blade traps from the other side, okay? That's the whole point. Let's see. Yeah, we're set up for the swan dive. Let's do it, Miss Croft. Woohoo! Nice! And we get shotgun shells as a little reward. They are incredibly random, but they are there, and we're gonna get them. And just look at this. We are under a ceiling of fire. This is so incredibly cool. By the way, you're in no danger of setting Lara on fire via touching it, thankfully, because I would have regretted it by now. But there it is. And now we opened up a door to sort of the second floor of that area, and we just need to emerge from here, okay? Oh, I forgot this track plays here. Pretty nice. Okay, let's go under the blade traps and climb up on this side. So, very easily avoidable, just with some maneuvering. And now, these traps are disabled. So again, if you have no qualms about passing through them and just popping medpacks like crazy, you don't need to engage with the lava trapdoor or anything like that, okay? You can just go here directly and open up the door above us. And we can essentially reach this place. You can also move the block a bit closer to help you with the jump, but there really is no need. You can just grab it normally. The zipline will not cause Lara to bug out or anything like that. And now we just need to open this grate to continue the level. The way we're gonna do that is essentially via the switch over here. Let me light up a flare just so you'll see what's up ahead. If you're not confident, I guess, about making any kinds of diagonal jumps, you can use those shimmyable ledges, but by now you really should be comfortable doing that. Remember, holding the action key means Lara will not hit her head and sort of slide in. And now we are approaching true pit of hell. It is absolutely gorgeous. Another one of those areas that was showcased in the reveal trailer back in September last year. There are 2 Jade Spearsmen and 2 Dragon Grates, and these are a work of utter beauty. I actually could never make out this is supposed to be a dragon in the original, but now I do, and my god, I love this so much. You know what, let me light up a flare. Thank you, Lara. Look at this. Just evil eyes, and almost like protecting an egg. Perhaps another dragon supposed to hatch from that? I have no idea. And I think this is worthy of a picture. It's absolutely gorgeous, and using the FOV slider, should be able to capture its essence without bumping into Lara standing there. There we go. Absolutely glorious. Not so much in the original, right? But the purpose is that we want to enter the pit so that we'll eventually emerge from the other side, and inside the pit is a mechanism to unlock this grate, which opens up the path to the final area of the level, okay? When it comes to the pit itself, I'd recommend dropping down via this side, so opposite of where the two Jade Spearsmen are. By the way, again, in case you are playing the original Tomb Raider 2 and have the grenades to spare, you can take care of all of these petrified warriors by firing the grenades on them, and they will take damage and explode. It's something I noticed in my original Tomb Raider 2 Let's Play, when I was even firing off harpoons, and harpoons also deal damage to these guys, but I mean, look, we have 3 harpoons, that's not really the way to go, also they deal minimal damage. The reason is that only harpoon gun and the grenade launcher fire real physical projectiles through the air, even in the original Tomb Raider 2, and they make an impact with the enemy, which is one of the reasons why they're so easy to miss with, right? Using any kind of other pistol or gun or M16 shotgun deals no damage to the petrified warriors in the original. In the remasters, this is all obsolete, doesn't work regardless, okay? So, just wanted to point that out, and let me make the second save of the level here. And down to the pit we go. We're gonna have a bit of time to make sense of our surroundings. We are now surrounded by a new type of enemy, and these are Bartoli's elite cultists, although they're kind of pushovers, to be honest. They're not as dangerous as the guys with the Uzis in Tibet, with the goggles and the skiing, not skiing mask, but skiing cap, right? But there's still 4 of them, and they have ridiculous amounts of health. The moment we raise this lever, we're gonna raise the grate and initiate fight with them, so we'll do that, but also we'll stay in this area so as also not to wake up 3 Jade Spearsmen. Oh, sorry, 4, there's a 4th one over there, also present in this area, okay? So, let me show you how to do it, and let's just hope for the best, really. Side flips will be your best friend here. It's very easy to lose track of which ones we took care of and which ones we haven't. Okay. Okay. Let's hide behind this pillar over here. I think we got hit once by a knife so far, that's not too bad. Okay, and another one. Let's go around the bastard. Okay, I wanted to also turn on the photo mode just to... I never noticed they have red eyes just like Marco Bartoli. Wow, that is pretty scary. You know what, Lara being so close, we do need to strike a pose. And we can actually even move her around. So this is exactly what we're gonna do next to the Uzi shell casing. I mean, this is perfection, come on guys. I just can't let an opportunity like this pass by. Okay, and we just need an angry face, Lara. Come on, you can do this. Not a sleepy one, not a scared one. This, yeah, this is perfect. I kind of want to capture both Lara's face and this guy, but you know what? I want to also capture the corpse in the back, and I think this is the way to go. This is going into the photo album. I mean, it's perfect. Oh! Ah, thank God. Now, the good thing is, these guys are really generous in their supplies, okay? So let's get our hands on all of them. Every single one of these 4 dudes drops something, and these are useful supplies. Although, I mean, the medpack usefulness is limited since I'm doing this as a no medpacks run. Now, I'm a bit concerned about this gentleman over here and his goodies, because, you know what, let's risk it. Oh no, the speedsmen are awakening. No! Onto this block of safety. Okay. Ah, pretty good aim, Lara. I'm happy about your performance so far. Nice! Only one more. Wonderful. We have 2 more to be concerned about. First of all, let's wake up that gentleman. Ah, you know what? We can take him without using the block. Awesome. And the final one is a bit of a bastard, because you need to approach him very closely. Yep, even closer. But thankfully, you can jump and not hit Lara's head on that grate, which is very handy. We can take him, Lara. Thank you. Wow, I think we got hit by one throwing knife and that's it. Wonderful. This is exactly how I hoped things would go. Now, there are two levers where the Jade Spearsmen were stationed, okay? This one will open up a way through to a stairway with another one of Bartoli's henchmen. I'm gonna show you a fun way to take care of him. And this one will open up the Dragon Seal door at the top leading to ladder, okay? But we still need to get out of here, and climbing out of the pit is not an option because it's slippery. But I did mention Bartoli's henchmen. Lara, get your Uzis out. Let's take care of him in the most stylish way imaginable. Let's zigzag. Oh no! Ooh! Whoa, we avoided taking damage. It wasn't as stylish as I hoped because she got stuck at the very final part. But yeah, still very happy about the damage. And now I developed a new strategy that I didn't think of a decade ago when I tackled the original Tomb Raider 2. Let me show you. Very easy to miss grenades, and this is especially dark in the original. Just look at this. In the remasters, there is this ever-present green glow, thankfully. So, the moment we press this lever to open the door to be able to continue the level, these two Jade Spearsmen will awaken. The problem is they are faster than Lara. If you try to outrun them using the staircase, they're very likely gonna corner you and impale her on their spear. Something I haven't mentioned, which makes them especially dangerous, is that there is a special animation they can trigger whenever, where they'll impale Lara on their spear no matter how much health you have. Think of T-Rex back in the Lost Valley. No matter how much health you have, if you find yourself close to it, it can initiate an insta-kill animation, and these guys are no different. Another reason why they're so dangerous has nothing to do with your actual health value. And I found out the best way to take care of them is essentially to open the door and whilst they're still waking up, run into the pit again, okay? Let me show you what I mean. Come on, Lara, do it, do it, do it. And using the same direction as before, let's go into the pit again. Because we are gonna find ourselves here, might as well get the M16 here and snipe them. Snipe the whole lot of them. And when they emerge from the staircase, because they will, their path fighting is actually quite decent, will already deal massive damage and be close to the block of safety. Okay, now they're too close. Let's switch to Uzis. By the way, they can still hit you whilst you're on the block if you're too close, okay? Just something to keep in mind. And now they're running up the stairs. Before, the spearsmen weren't running up the stairs because the entrance was blocked. Now that it's accessible, you'll need to lure them in a couple of times. Okay, and the final one. Yes! Oh my god, we're doing so incredibly well. There is literally only one more enemy to worry about, and that's a cultist, right? And these guys are more of a pushovers than the Jade Spearsmen. However, it's his placement that's exceptionally vicious. But I do think we have the health to spare. As long as we don't get hit by a trap that's also next to him. Anywho. So this is the best strategy I found of doing it. By the way, before we do anything, let's just look up and try to think about the best way to make a backflip. So just like in the Temple of Xi'an, you'll need to make a ladder backflip and grab the one here and then the one here. This one is easier because it has these colored markings showing you where to do it, which is 1, 2, 3 rungs from the top. So using the same principle, 1, 2, 3, I guess we can make it here. I hope. The ceiling looks too close. I'm not sure myself how I'll decide. Worst case scenario, I'll make a mistake, I'll die, and we'll have to repeat the whole gauntlet of doom and death again, which is a lot of fun. Yeah, you know what, let's use this empty ladder rank without an ornament as a reference point, and hopefully this will be fine. So, jump, mid-air roll, hold action, wonderful. And now we need to make it all the way back up. It's moments like these when I really miss playing the PlayStation 1 version on DuckStation emulator, when I could speed things up using the fast forward key, and Lara would immediately climb. Okay, and one more should just about do it. Wonderful. And now for a particularly nasty encounter with Bartoli's henchmen, the elite throwing knives for some reason. Let's shimmy instead. There we go, we'll get even more to the left when we could whilst using also her feet. Let's climb up. Oh, get the grenade launcher out. Whew. Okay, 2 grenades takes care of him. Another good weapon to use here is actually the shotgun, but I thought to myself, you know what, this is why we've been hoarding all those grenades, okay? So it's important you do not get pushed into this trap on top of everything, right? And I literally almost touched a disc, which would be very funny. Anywho, this is a pushable block, and this way you can set Lara up for a zipline that's right above us, and you cannot grab ziplines while making a standing grabbing jump. Lara needs solid footing under her feet to zipline, which actually doesn't make much sense, and it's something they really improved upon in the Survivor trilogy. You could jump to essentially zipline, right? But I recommend do not do that yet, although technically speaking you're not going to permanently mess things up if you do that, because you're going to zipline into final tile of the level, and then if you make yet another step, you'll trigger the level exit, okay? But we have 2 achievements to still unlock. Well, one would be unlocked when we reach the level exit, but the other one is for the 3rd and final secret of the game. So instead, let's make a jump here. Okay, and now I'm going to show you a trick which works reliably well, assuming you have health to spare, or you're not stingy about using a medpack, okay? So I'm gonna make a roll drop onto this ledge over here, rather than trying to jump here and here, because it's just really easy to hit Lara's head over the whole thing. This is the way I tend to do it. Let me show you. Again, only if I have, oops, sorry, the health to spare. There, okay? So we took some small damage, and this way you land directly here and you're safe to explore this dark corridor leading to a really cool location. It's not just the fact that it's the final secret of the game and then you get plenty of goodies, grenade launcher ammunition to be more exact, but also its location. We are under the roof of the Fire Temple. How awesome is that? To be honest, this looked really badass even in the original, although the fire looks a bit more lively now in the remasters. And there we go, the final secret of the game, and Codex of China is ours. Collect all secrets in Great Wall, Tibet and Temple of Xi'an levels, okay? And we can essentially go all the way back. And the final challenge to not mess up the level and not to die is essentially just to climb up. But guys, seriously, I've never done so well health-wise in the floating islands. I'll be honest, I'll say it, I'm proud how this turned out, okay? Now, this I'm not particularly confident on. What do you guys think? Is it better to make a grabbing jump or... yeah, let's make a grabbing jump. Lara, you can withstand the heat, right? Oh, the flames are really high. Oof. And now, which I consider even trickier, we just need to jump here and hold jump. It doesn't matter if Lara will slide forward or backwards. If you hold jump key using a forward jump or backflip, she'll make it here, okay? Now let's make it to the final tile of the level and make an immensely satisfying save here. And let's see the No Crazy Golf achievement also unlock. Pretty please. Oh, thank God. No Crazy Golf, let the green boulders stay where they are. So like I said, this only unlocks at the level end. We've beaten floating islands just at the 30-minute mark. We picked up all 3 secrets. Again, we now have all the secrets in the game. Unfortunately, there's no extra reward here for that. There will be in Golden Mask expansion, Tomb Raider 3, and the Lost Artifact expansions. A really nice trend, which they kept. We got our hands on all 39 goodies. We killed all 26 enemies. 8 of them, the Jade Swordsman, for which we unlocked the On Equal Terms achievement, doing it the method I showed you. What's even more impressive is we have not used a medpack, and we still had plenty of health to spare. So guys, I really hope my strategies for tackling the game's toughest enemies will also work out for you. I'm really happy about how this turned out, and since I'm on a roll, why don't we step directly into the Dragon's Lair already, but not before thanking my amazing patrons. Blangoopel, Mick, Severin Drax, Marek Malec and Katie Danger, thank you guys so much for being my Winstons and for treating me to a delicious cup of Chinese pu'er tea. It's the best thing in the morning. I would also like to say big thanks to my caretaker Winston, Michael McConkey. Thank you so much for your support and also for ensuring that Lara wears her knife-proof vest into China. This protected her from a particularly nasty thrown knife thrown by one of Bartoli's henchmen and the very sharp spear of the Jade Spearsman. Next, I would like to give special thanks to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianetti. Thank you so much for your support and also for gifting a Tin Soldier playset to baby Lara decades ago. I'm pretty sure playing with that playset helped her overcome her shock and fear of the jade statues in the floating islands and kick their ass. And finally, I would like to give a very special thanks to my one and only fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind. Thank you so much for your generous support of the channel and your comments, and also for being a bit of a guiding voice to Lara in this nightmare realm, and essentially telling her where it's safe to step. Thanks to you and your guiding voice from the freezer, we actually didn't fall once, and that's quite the feat in the floating islands. And thank you to everyone for watching and sharing your comments on how you tackled these levels. Please let me know if you were as confused as I was with the floating islands. Like I said, it's my least favorite level of the game, but I'm more the happier how this video turned out, so hopefully it will prove useful. And also, like I mentioned and promised in my Temple of Xi'an video, next time I'll release Floating Islands, it's also gonna be accompanied by yet another video, The Dragon's Lair. I just couldn't keep the final fight away from you for a couple of days. I wanted to ensure that both videos will release back to back, so that you will essentially see a continuation of the floating islands all the way to the final showdown where we're gonna throw punches with Marco Bartoli himself. So what are you waiting for? The link is on the screen, and I'll see you in The Dragon's Lair.